Hey builders, another day, another Snowflake tip. Today I'm going to show you how you can access AWS S3 tables within Snowflake. I say, we at Snowflake had made that thing super easy. Let me show you how. I assume that you already have an S3 table created and all the necessary permissions given and IAM roles created. So if you don't know how to do it, I have a bunch of AWS references on the video description which you can follow to get created. For this demo, I'm going to use one S3 table bucket, which I already created, which is called as Kamesh-S3 tables demo penguins. It's a table that's going to hold a set of penguin data, thanks to my friend Shannon who has given this data set, and it's available publicly. I also put that data set on the description of this video. So first, let's go to Athena and then query this table, make sure that we have data in it. Basically, as you see here, it uses S3 tables catalog. Under that, I have my S3 table bucket name. Let's go query this one, see how many records we have. We are roughly around 333 records. And also let's query a few more things, one more like just 5 records to make sure that we can refer it back once we integrate with Snowflake. There we go. So we have a bunch of records here as well. Before we actually create a catalog integration, in Snowflake, the very first thing that I have to do is like go to Lake Formation within AWS, and as a Lake Formation administrator, go to administration and application integration settings and enable this checkbox saying allow external engine access. So this will allow us to access this S3 tables and underlying buckets within Snowflake and kind of using Iceberg. The very first step at Snowflake side, what you have to do is that I have to basically create this catalog integration. So catalog integration allows us to integrate the Snowflake tables or Snowflake catalog with external catalogs. In this case, it's going to be Glue catalog. So using catalog API type as Glue, giving catalog URI is going to use Iceberg REST URI for Glue, which is this glue.region amazonaws.com/iceberg. I'm going to use a catalog namespace which I have already created under my S3 tables as an Iceberg table namespace. The table format is Iceberg. And then the catalog name, which basically your account ID followed by S3 tables catalog and your table bucket name. If you remember, that's what we used when we queried within Athena. The very important and crucial stuff here is that like how Snowflake makes things super easy is using access delegation mode to vended credentials. What does it mean is that by default, when I do ended credentials, AWS is going to give me a temporary credentials when kind of authenticating against this integration. And then it's going to disappear after some time, right? Because it's temporary credentials. So I don't need to remember or I don't need to add credentials every time I create this integration. The next piece is basically for REST authentication. I needed basically an IAM role to access this S3 tables. That's what I've given here as part of the gist for this demo, which I have again added on the description of the video. I have the policy JSON that is required to define this role. And an external ID. I'm using an hard-coded external ID here, but if you leave it to blank, Snowflake is going to create you an external ID which you can use as part of your trust relationship. Let's get started with creating this catalog integration. There you go. I got my catalog integration created. The next step I need to do is like I need to describe this particular catalog integration because I need two information from this. So I'm just going to go here, describe catalog integration. When you see this catalog integration, you need two information: API AWS IAM user on, API AWS external ID. These two values you need to go and update your role back. So what I was meaning is that if you go to IAM and if you go to the trust relationship, you'll find this principle where we need to update API AWS IAM user on. And for example, the condition for the external ID, this is where you need to update the API AWS external ID. So otherwise your integration will technically not be able to talk to each other. Okay, fine. So what's next? The next step is all creating an Iceberg table. So let's just create an Iceberg table. I'm calling this as Glue Penguins, just to prefix Glue so that like it's easy for us to identify this. I'm pointing it back to this AWS S3 tables demo penguins catalog integration. Catalog table name, if you remember, that's what we queried in Athena. That's the penguins table that I'm using. I'm doing auto refresh so that the table underlying table is periodically auto refreshed every time there's an update happening into the S3 tables. Let's go get created. There we go. The tables penguins, clue penguins got created. So let's query to verify that we can query all the data from Snowflake. Just going to go back here, copy these queries, put it here, and then the first one I'm going to call is select star. Obviously should get, this should be clue penguins. We got 333 records, and then I'm also going to do the same thing, querying 5 records here. There we go. So we're now able to access all the records from the Penguins S3 tables within Snowflake using Iceberg Catalog. Thank you so much for watching this video. I'll meet you all in another tip another day. Bye now.